Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast on Game 1 in a series between MarineKing versus ToD here on Newkirk Precinct Tournament Edition. Now, I really don't know what makes this map more Tournament Edition than the others, but let's just go ahead and take a look at it. There is a cooling tower here that I do believe does create some debris right here if it does get knocked down. I don't see any Xel'Naga towers in the center, so this really does feel like Newkirk Precinct, but the layout of everything is just slightly different. So far, game 1 in this series, as it is going to be a Protoss versus Terran matchup. Now, what do we expect on this matchup here? It looks as though we are going to be just opening up with standard builds as of now. You can't really glean too much information from the opening minute of the game. And the gas timings and the building timings will be what we're looking for next. I would be very surprised if either of these players tried to go for a Nexus or Command Center first, as the map should be rather small, and since you do know where your opponent has spawned, scouting should come fairly easy. We are going to see this probe now make its way down the ramp, head over, and then head back up the ramp on the other side. Meanwhile, we can see that MarineKing, it looks like he will be going for that command center first. Alright, so call me confused, call me dumbfounded, call me uninformed, but don't call me not observant, as it will be a command center first. And I am curious if ToD is going to try and delay this. That would be my best bet, trying to delay it. We should most likely see that the probe is going to come over and then start a little bit of harassment. It is going to spot that right there, and he does see this now. So he is just going to start zapping away at this SCV. Now, I am surprised that if MarineKing wanted to go for that very fast expansion, why he didn't simply build the supply depot up on the high ground and then build the command center right behind it. That is the standard MO for most of the styles here, so that your SCV isn't going to get harassed. However, MarineKing, being the obviously good Terran player that he is, didn't lose a single probe yet, and it looks like this command center may get placed down without being really punished. Alright, let's take a look at this. This SCV now down to 10 some odd hit points, so a lot of damage absorbed by SCVs, but really no damage dealt. Perhaps MarineKing feels that his micro is superior, and he knows that he can suffer the damage without really losing much of anything, as we are now looking at a Zealot running across the field. The timing on the Zealot should be about the same timing as the timing on the Marine there, as the Zealot now simply just going to walk up and down the ramp. So far, we are looking at that Cybernetics core. We are seeing the Nexus now coming into play as the probe trying to take a look around, and he does spot the Zealot now. So is the Zealot going to find the right path? No, he is not. He is going to end up chasing that Marine all the way inside his base, as we do have double barracks. Alright, 3 Marines versus 1 Zealot. Oh, the Zealot does get an SCV. Beautiful shot there. Is he going to perhaps get one more kill? If he can get one more kill, yes, he does make himself worth it, getting 2 kills that would have otherwise gone untouched, as the harvester count is now 24 to 19, sacrificing 2 Zealots for, or a Zealot for 2 SCVs, something that most, if not all, Protoss players are willing to do in the early portions of the game. Now, we are looking at an expansion coming in from ToD, as Jan Merlot, yeah, ToD as well. I'm like, Jan Merlot, yeah, Jan Merlot is his name. More known as ToD in the realm of esports, was part of Root for a while, and going all the way back was part of 4 Kings Intel in Warcraft 3. So far, we're looking at this SCV now making its way back home. We are looking at the harvester count 28 to 25. Still a slight advantage for the Protoss, but he really needs to kick up his overall production, as he should have a much larger lead with that chrono boost. So let's take a look at the chrono boost. It is going to be chrono boosting out level 1 weapons upgrades, as a mothership core now making its way around the corner. Alright, what we could be having here is that mothership core trying to take down 2 or 3 Marines. You can see that the reactor is down, so more Marines will be coming in. Is the mothership core going to get the necessary kills? That is the question, as the mothership core absorbing a bit of damage before retreating back. takes 12 points of damage. Meanwhile, the SCV here that is low on life may get taken down, and oh no, does not get taken down as the Marines and the Marauders come over in time to push this Stalker all the way back. No concussive shells on the Stalker, as this Overlord perhaps could have exchanged a little bit of blows. I do believe it has equal range to a Marine, but with 3 Marines here, that Mothership Core is definitely a much more valuable investment than those 3 Marines, and you do not want to be trading in such an unfortunate situation. Stalkers are still sitting here off to the north. 1 lone Marine sitting down here doesn't see line of sight on that Stalker for some strange reason, as we are looking at sentries now warping in. Alright, excuse me, sentries now holding the top post here. Meanwhile, it looks as though we are going to be going into some hallucinations. That hallucination going to take a look and figure out what exactly MarineKing's up to. 64 supply compared to 59. And this is a very, very aggressive economic build. We are only at the 8-minute 30-second mark, but we are already seeing a very strong, very viable Terran bio strategy. This Terran bio strategy will already have stim. Combat shields should be coming in shortly thereafter, as we are going into level 1 weapons upgrades. Meanwhile, level 1 armor upgrades now being researched, with level 1 weapons already done for the Protoss. We are looking at the Marines off over here. We are going to have a bit of a switcheroo, as both sides are looking to see when they're going to be placing down their next expansion. At this time, both of them floating very little resources, getting up to about 200, 300. It's said that you should never have more than 400 minerals at a time, as we are now looking at more and more Marines still being trained. Level 1 shield upgrades coming online, as we are chrono boosting out level 1 armor with the Twilight Council coming in for extra armor as well. We are going to see this proxy pylon off to the north here, as the Marines and the Marauders are going to simply walk across the map here. Stim combat shield will be ready in just a moment. Level 1 armor upgrades. The Marines have got to notice that there is a slight flicker in the air. I gotta believe that MarineKing, the only reason why he is not shooting down the Observer, or waited so long to shoot down the Observer, was he wanted his opponent to know that he was coming. Why would you want to force your opponent to know that you're coming? Because if your opponent knows that you're coming and knows where your position is, if they're not in a position to strike, then all they can really do is wait for your army to defend. That's exactly what we're seeing here, as the Colossus switching back and forth, as the Observer now keeping track of where these medevacs are. This is going to be a bit of a problem for MarineKing, as MarineKing doesn't want to give him all of this very, very valuable information. Double medevacs now retreating all the way here. Where exactly are they going? I don't know. Perhaps they're going to try and do a drop over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. You can see that that's exactly what ToD is expecting. But no, those medevacs are just in the very, very far back, and it made it perhaps look like there was only 1 set of medevacs. Now he knows that there are in fact 2 sets of medevacs. There is the scanner sweep again, as we are now going into that drop. Alright, drop, in it comes. It is going to try to drop inside the main, and it is going to drop inside the main only to get corralled very, very easily. Zealots all taken down, as the Marines may try to charge up the ramp. That is not going to be a good play. Very, very small victory for ToD, but ToD will definitely take it, as his losses are significantly less than his opponent, and his economy is still slightly better at this stage. The problem, the Terran ability to be able to lift off and land buildings, will give him a little bit of a foot up in that economic race. Establishing that third base right now and already having it upgrade to an orbital command gives MarineKing a very just strong economic advantage, and then perhaps we should see some more production buildings being thrown down right behind this. We are looking at 5 barracks, 3 of them with reactors, just churning out the Marines pretty much non-stop at this point. As we are looking at Yon now going into level 2 weapons upgrades, but we already see 2 upgrades coming in for the Terran. MarineKing gonna be in a very prime position here, as we are looking at MarineKing just getting a very strong foothold. He doesn't want to give up this economic advantage yet. He is sitting back. He is defending, as ToD does keep track of all that's going on right here outside the base. You can see that the Marines are changing colors in just a moment, and we are now looking at what appears to be a Zealot drop inside the main. Missile turret now being constructed, only needs 15 seconds more. Warp Prism with that movement speed upgrade recently may be able to get there in time. No, this is going to be very, very close. Let's see what's going to be happening. There is the Zealots now getting dropped inside the base. There's the Warp Prism. Now as the Zealots warping in another round of Zealots here. Alright, the timing on this is just going to be exactly perfect. Trying to take down this engineering bay, but it is getting repaired. But while that's happening, you can see hallucinated Colossi just trying to just press on here. So far, the Warp Prism is forced to fall back. Does take a little bit of damage, losing a handful of Zealots. 4 Zealots to be exact, if those 4 Zealots that were warping in earlier did complete. Losses at 1,000 now. Not quite sure what. Perhaps a pylon was shot down somewhere, as we are now looking at a 3-base Protoss. ToD hoping to perhaps gain a foothold with this hallucination, absorbing some damage, and really forcing MarineKing to misread the situation. So far, there have not been any misreads yet. Colossus now finishing off the debris off over here. Could get taken down in just a moment. There it goes. As we are getting into some High Templars as well. High Templars with Psystorm, very effective, as Psystorm does deal a lot of damage. Meanwhile, another Zealot drop inside the main base, cleaning up a couple of these Marines. One Marine does get taken down, a Marauder versus a Marine here, as we now see a major fight going on. Beautiful Psystorms come in, and all the Vikings now are just trying to figure out where they can go. Another Psystorm could be coming in just a moment. Just needs a little bit more time, and the High Templars may get caught. Yes, they do. And 160 versus 143 as the Nexus will be falling. Photon Overcharge not enough to compete against all the Marines that you see here. Another Psystorm was raining down on all of these Marines, but not going to be enough there, as quick 3 slow force fields come across the map, forcing MarineKing to do a little bit of a double take and perhaps wait at least 20 seconds before trying to come up that ramp. Are they going to challenge it? That is the question. High Templar still do not have enough energy. We could see the engagement there as the Vikings take a little bit of a poke, and it is looking like, yes, ToD is starting to lose any ground that he was able to establish very early on, as the Assimilator will get taken down here. 2-2 Marines. No sign of 3-3 as of yet, but I gotta believe it is in the future. 20 supply difference between the two total, but over a 40 supply difference in terms of army supply. But that does mean that there's a lot less workers for MarineKing. If MarineKing is not careful, 64 to 38 supply and in terms of workers, and that is going to really be setting MarineKing behind. He needs to deal a lot of damage with this attack, otherwise any follow-up sort of attack will simply fall flat. Zealots going after the Marauders here. Dark Templar is here as well. The Dark Templar there has 2 kills, as the Zealots are attempting to finish off SCV after SCV. Harvester count now 34, as we're still looking at a very large army. 161 versus 99. That worker supply difference, it almost feels like MarineKing says, you know what, you got me here. You are most likely going to be able to finish me off. But every SCV that you take out, I'm going to replace with an actual unit. And now this is why we're seeing the absolutely insane large army, 161 army size, coming in from MarineKing. There you go. There's the engagement. Psystorm now quickly comes down, rains across all those Marines. Another Psystorm could be coming in. There it is, dealing a lot of damage once again. Vikings now trying to get out. As you can see, the Psystorm is just absolutely tearing apart all those Marines. Marines and Marauders still trying to shoot up onto the high ground. High Templars could get off some more Psystorm in just a second. Not quite sure why they're not. 158 versus 132 as the Vikings now go into ground mode. More Marines getting stuck there. And another Psystorm could really make a big dent in this army. 151 versus 148. Army supply 114 versus 80. But the replenishments are coming in very quickly for ToD. as ToD still getting in a good amount of Psystorm across multiple Marauders and Marines. I don't believe MarineKing was simply expecting this amount of Psystorm, as we're now at 95 supply versus 139, evening out the army supplies, but a huge worker supply advantage for Jan Merlot. Alright, I believe his name's spelled or pronounced Jan Merlot. Anyways, I'll just call him ToD throughout the rest of the match, or Protoss, as the Zealots are going to get cleaned up here. High Templar is right under, or Dark Templar is right underneath the orbital command, hoping that it will roast and toast and burn to a crisp. But there will be a quick scanner sweep revealing that before it does go ahead and land. Archons ready to absorb some more damage. I do believe that this is going to be the prime situation where ToD can try and take the game. He has a good sized army, and he knows that he can perhaps replenish it faster, or we know that. Zealots are about to charge in here, and there you go. There is the attack. Archons, High Templars in the back, some of them with maximum energy, should just absolutely destroy this, as you see the Marines and the Marauders simply ignoring all of that Psystorm. All that Psystorm dealing so much damage. Army supply 81 to 90. Protoss having a 10 army supply difference, and that is it, as the Archons are sitting at 2-2 upgrades. Marauders and Marines are sitting at 2-2 as well. No one really gaining the front there, as the Archons now just continue to push their way forward. Alright, there it goes. More units now falling, as the Archons now back off to the left. This is still looking very good for ToD, but ToD, can he close and seal the deal? Yeah, just a whole bunch of Marauders running through Psystorm there. There is now a 40 or 50 supply difference between these two. 71 to 33 of that is in workers, and that just means that the number of workers that you see inside the third base is just not that many. With a very low worker count, he is having a bad day, unable to rebuild or use all of the resources that he's harvested and gathered at this point in time, as we now see a new, or the orbital command getting recentered down once again. 71 versus 27. Zealots, Archons, High Templars, Colossus now simply all falling back. ToD ready to go to start mining again. Here you can see that there is an expansion already here as well, and with 4 bases to 3 by the Protoss, I do believe ToD will have the advantage here in finishing off his opponent. Alright, Marauders, Zealots, Medevacs now making their way off to the north, hunting for proxy pylons. 185 versus 198. One Dark Templar are going to try and sneak on inside. Harvester count now down to 17. I expect that number to be a dropping, as we are now already down to 15, 14. Is he going to get another kill? No, it does not look like it. Oh, there are more Marines over here. He could try to go after them as well. He does have the level 2 weapons upgrades, but it really needs level 3 in order to one-shot a Marine, I believe, if it has been stimmed. All right, let's go. Psystorm now comes in again. A huge battle here at the third base. Jan gonna quickly lose that Nexus again, but at what cost to MarineKing? MarineKing suffering terrible damage. Archons now suffering terrible damage along with the probe. The probes are absorbing so much damage here, as there is the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1. Please stay tuned for Game 2.